Now that you have a goal, do you know how you're going to get there? That's a great question. I was listening a video from Brendon Burchard today, and I'm going to put the link here in the description. And he was talking about the 4 P's to succeed. I'm going to call it the 4 P's for success, and his idea was about businesses. But the idea is sometimes we have a goal, we know what our vision is, we know where we would like to be in a year, in 5 years, but sometimes we don't put in place what is needed to make sure we get there. It's interesting, and that's why I like the way Brendon Burchard brought his 4 P's together. So they're not my ideas, but it made me think a lot today. So the first one, so if you think of the 4 P's, so the first one is about planning. A lot of us have a lot of ideas. We have goals, and sometimes the biggest issue we have is we forget to set a plan, to write it down, to put the steps together so that once it's listed, we can say, okay, in order to get where I want to go, I need to do those 10 steps. There will always going to be a situation where new opportunities will come, new ideas, the shiny object syndrome. But these will always or could get you out or away from your 10 steps leading yourself to your goal. So that's why a plan is important. And in his video, he was talking about how if you have a plan, well, just write it down and put it on the wall so you see it consistently. Because once you see it, and sometimes you say, oh, I have sometimes, then you know what to look for. If you say, I don't know what I should do right now, you have the plan to work with. If at some point you say, okay, well, I have a choice, I have an interesting idea or an interesting opportunity, once you see the plan, you redirect and refocus your attention. So the plan is very important. And as I grow this channel, one thing that I want is to build resources for teachers. And it's coming together much better than I thought. It's still part of a plan, but guess what? I did not write it down. I did mention to you that for the French techniques book I'm putting together, I have a list here. And I put together an outline of what I need to do. So I recorded and almost completed the first chapter out of 12. But there's a plan. So when I have time, I work on that, and it's beautiful. So having a plan is important. Now, the second P he mentioned was process. And I always underestimate the benefit of processes. Now, keep in mind that in our daily lives, there's some processes we have that work all the time. We get up, we brush our teeth, and take care of ourselves. Wonderful. We have a routine before we go to bed. We have a routine at the end of the afternoon when we can have a little tea before we cook dinner. Some of you for lunch may want to go to the gym, or you may go for a walk outside. These are processes to help you in your life. But the same thing happens when you want to build a business, I think, when you are a teacher and when you want to achieve or you want to get to a place where you know how to get there. And once you set up the process, you don't have to question it anymore. An example would be people going to the gym. Some are going in the morning at 5 or 6 in the morning before they started the day. Other people go after work, and they don't question it. They know it's part of their schedule, and they get it done. It's part of the process of the day. Some people appreciate going to, I don't know, the hair salon, for example. Some people enjoy reading a good book, something they can learn from, and they will set aside 20 minutes a day. That's part of the process for success. When you have a process in place, you've had a chance to think about what is best for you, and you've actually contemplated how to achieve that. And you set up a process, you set up a routine to make sure that this happens. You put it in your agenda, and it may be hard at the beginning, but at some point, day in, day out, you set this idea as a habit, and it's part of your daily process. It's amazing. It's the same thing would work for your physical health. Same thing works for, let's say, meeting with your team to make sure that Once a week, you are making sure that you talk to every individual in the group so that you can be there for them and they can be there for you as well. So processes are important. The first thing is you know what your goals are. You need to have put a plan together, and then you need to set the processes so you don't have to think about it. You know it's there. You know it will get done. It's just a matter of falling into place. Then there's less thinking involved and growth will happen. Brendon Burchard was talking about a swimmer. I forget his name now. And he was talking about how this swimmer was an athlete in the Olympics. Sometimes he didn't feel like swimming. But part of the process was he was swimming so many hours a day, and that was part of his routine. So sometimes you don't feel like it, but as part of the process, you get it done. And the process makes you get closer to your goal. The same way, I have a process where I'm putting a video on my channel every day. And that is, I'm not questioning it anymore. It is something I do, it gets done, and it's part of my routine. And it's easy to do. The third P is called practice. When I was thinking about the third P as practice, I realized that things don't come easy. Making a plan may be easy. Following the plan, that is not always easy. Wanting to set a new habit in your life, the thought is easy, but to put it into motion, that is not easy. So that means that in order to get better, you actually need to do it. And that means that you need to practice. When I say practice, is you need to step up, get off the couch, get off the chair, move your body to get things done. It doesn't mean it's going to be great the first time. All it means is that once you do it, a few things happen. You succeed, you move forward, you fail, and then you can reassess what worked, and then you can fail forward. And this is part of growing in your life and in your project. And it's important to practice. And interestingly enough, it's so much easier to practice once you have a process in mind, a process that is set up, and process based on your plan to achieve your goal. So you see how they all work together, and it's kind of exciting. The fourth P is something that is not something that I am aware of or have applied very much. And the fourth one is people. Brendon was talking about the fact that sometimes people have some money, they get a new car, they have some money, they go for a trip, they have some money and they buy things. On the other hand, when you buy things, it takes money. It takes money for out of your income, out of your profits to get that. And that's okay. If that's what you want to do, get a car, wonderful. On the other hand, if you make a little money and you realize that you are moving forward in your business, but you're very busy, you could decide to get help. So hire an assistant, hire some help, hire an editor for your video, hire someone to support you in some ways. And by hiring someone, it frees some time for you so you can do what's important for you. And I think that is the one thing that is not easy. Actually, a couple of days ago, I was talking about the fact in one of my videos. I mean, I'm going to put a card right here in the video, how I realized that I have a lot of things to do and I think it's time for me to get some help. But in order to do that, I need to get more income. So I'm at that point where we need to figure out a place where I need to put the plan in place so that the processes are there, so that I can practice to get better, so I can get help. Because don't forget, once you get help, you need to tell people what to do and how to do it so it fits with your plan. And it's so much easier for someone who's hired to know what the processes are, because the person comes in, is part of the team, and all you have to tell them is, okay, I've put together a list of things that works for us, and I would like you to do these 5 steps every day. That's easy. Now, keeping in mind that bringing new people in could bring new ideas and actually make some processes more efficient. And that's part of having a business, having a group, having a project that grows nicely. So here are the 4 P's we talked about today. If you want to have success, first of all, you need to have a plan. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You can take a piece of paper, you can take a pen. There's no budget needed for that. Once you set up a plan, then you know where you're aiming for. You divide the steps you need to do, and you try to see, is it possible to create a process to make some of those steps go faster? And that could be very, very beneficial for you. And then you need to practice as the third P. Now, for me, putting a video on my YouTube channel, I realized that recording ahead of time doesn't work for me. My process is to work with an idea. When I have my idea, is to record the idea, edit it right away, and post the video. That works best for me because every day I take some time to think about a message I'd like to share. That is a process that works well for me. And the main reason is I have so many things going on during the day that I cannot find a big amount of time to record so many things and then find time to edit many videos and then do many thumbnails. I haven't been able to work that together. So the process I have is the best I can work with. It will change, I'm sure, one day. But for that, you need to have people that help you as a fourth P to make sure that you grow your goal in the right way. Because keeping in mind that we can buy things, we can buy new computers, new tools, new this, new that, or we can take that money to hire someone to help us grow our project. So on this, I would like, if you have a chance, to put in the comment below, what is that project you're planning to? Because I would love to know. If some of you have an interesting process that works well for you, a great routine, don't hesitate to put it in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ideas because guess what? My ideas are great, but your idea can be better than mine. On this, I'm going to put here a link to a video, and that will be on the idea of, I don't know yet. You're going to see, it's a surprise. I'll see you in the next video.